Hi there, I'm Siobhan Riley. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. A woman in Huntersville was shot by police after allegedly hitting an officer with her car. Police say they were responding to a domestic disturbance call around 1:15 a.m. Saturday morning. Police approached 44-year-old Amanda Benton's car. That's when they say she accelerated and hit one of the officers. The officer then shot into the vehicle, hitting her. Benton was taken to a hospital with serious injuries and faces multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. 2 officers were also taken to the hospital and later released. The officer who shot Benton has since been placed on administrative leave while the case remains under investigation. And just before school begins, one duo is making sure that important technology is in top shape. Duke Energy Foundation teamed up with the organization Eliminate the Divide to provide computer repair services for free.
The special sauce in all this, though, is we hire high school students.
And Charlotte-Mecklenburg students, they return to class tomorrow morning. Here's your forecast.
Going to be not as nice as we move through the next couple of days with that summer heat returning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live here on Spectrum News 1. The time right now is 8:02. It is Sunday, August 25th. My co-anchor Sarah Rudling has the day off. Let's go ahead and get straight into our top stories this morning. School safety is top of mind as districts across North Carolina are starting back this week. This new weapons detection system will soon be operational in all 84 Cumberland County schools. It is called the Open Gate Weapon System. Administrators call it a metal detector on steroids. Leaders plan on rolling that out across the system through the next few months. Spectrum News 1 reporter David Ivey got an inside look as some students on the year-round school schedule put the system through its paces. And school officials say the detectors are not supposed to sound an alarm for things like keys or cell phones. They start going in schools on September 9th, with some schools getting more than one. Several other school systems in North Carolina, like nearby Harnett County and Pitt County in the east, are also using this system for the same reason. The time right now is 8:05. Looking across the state, Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools have asked students not to bring 3-ring binders to schools. They say the metal is setting off security body scanners. The rule only applies to middle and high school CMS students in the district. We heard a little more from the district earlier this week.
Sometimes with our scanners, we were getting false positives.
And the district says parents were informed of this decision when it was made. They say if kids do have metal 3-ring binders or backpacks with metal frames, which also can cause problems, they will work with them by setting the items to the side so that they can walk past the body scanners. And as we talk all things back to school this week, one school district in our state is making sure every student there can now get free breakfast and lunch at school. Durham Public Schools is the first district in North Carolina to establish universal free lunch. It is funded by the Eligibility Provision Program through the USDA and Durham Public Schools. That program focuses on low-income households across the state. 194 school systems qualify for this program. 147 of those systems have already opted in. Durham's Assistant Director of Food Systems Planning says the new program will help their families regardless of income.
And on average, if you have a family of 2, you're now receiving the equivalent of $1,200 a year in benefit, right?
And last year, Easley Elementary School averaged 150 cafeteria lunches. With the new program, they are up to 278. The hope is to remove the stigma surrounding free school meals. And we're going to have back to school coverage each morning this week to kick off the new school year. So be sure to stay with Spectrum News 1 for that, because you will not want to miss it. And remember that you can share your back to school photos with us by visiting SpectrumLocalNews.com or by downloading our mobile news app. You can scan the QR code that is on your screen now to upload those images. They will appear in our back to school coverage and our online gallery.
This is the largest and most impactful breach that I've ever seen.
Social security numbers and private information for billions of people is publicly available online after a massive data breach. Just ahead on Spectrum News 1, what we know about the hack so far, the steps you can take right now to protect your data. And this is a live look from Carolina Beach. A little cloudy out there this morning. Will we get a break from the heat this week? That's the question a lot of people are asking. But how long will all of that last before kids head back to school this week? Your 3-day forecast, that's all up next on Spectrum News 1. Be sure to stay with us. Welcome back to Spectrum News 1, and hope you're having a great Sunday. This is a look from Wilson at Whirligig Park. A great day to get out there today. The temperatures are just fabulous. Meteorologist Vernon Turner, he joins us, and today is the last nice day before summer heat returns tomorrow. So those kids who are heading back to school, they might not be too happy about the heat that's on the way, Vernon.
Yeah, you know what? One summer ending, and then of course the heat coming back to us. Yeah, it's definitely.
Cyber attacks are something that experts say that they are continuing to keep an eye on. Oil giant Halliburton was hit really hard this week. An attack earlier this week. Federal officials say there were no signs that energy services or infrastructure had been impacted. Halliburton says it launched an internal investigation into the matter and is working to increase security. Cyber attacks can impact business operations and budgets. According to IBM, the average cost of a data breach is more than $4 million, the highest total ever.
Cybercrime is essentially a business for the criminals.
And this comes on the heels of a massive leak that saw about 3 billion Social Security numbers, names, and addresses leaked to the public. That probably includes you too, who are watching at home. My co-anchor Sarah Rudling spoke with a cybersecurity expert to see what steps you can take right now to protect yourself and your finances from bad actors. Really good information to help us protect our data. Thanks for that, Sarah. And looking around the world right now, the Israeli military carried out preemptive airstrikes in Lebanon today on what it deemed, quote, terror targets. Israel claims Hezbollah was preparing to fire hundreds of rockets on Israeli territory, so it acted first. Hezbollah says the strikes are in response to Israel killing a top military commander last month. U.S. officials say they are monitoring the situation right now. Meanwhile, Palestinian health officials say multiple Israeli airstrikes killed at least 36 people this weekend in southern Gaza. Hospital officials say among those killed were 11 members of the same family. Coming up next on Spectrum News 1, an 8-day trip to the International Space Station turns into a 6-month stay after their capsule is deemed unfit for re-entry. We're going to hear from NASA leaders about the plan to get those 2 astronauts home and why it's taking so long. That's coming up next on Spectrum News 1. Stay with us.